What's up, Collective fam? It's your boy Tony the Toy Rat. I needed to get a replacement chair, so I decided to get a gaming style one. And today we're going to talk about this one from our friends at Neo Chair. This beautifully styled carbon fiber, black, white, red, and gray Miles Morales Spider-Man, licensed by Marvel, put together by our friends at Neo Chair. And we're going to talk about what it comes with and how to install. Stay tuned, and let's do that now. I didn't think you guys would want to watch me unbox this entire thing, so I pulled the pieces out in advance and grabbed the manual, which was done in this really cool sort of comic book style art, which is really easy to follow for the most part. They give you this big bag of tools here, and if you read carefully, you'll figure out what's what. So we started with the base, and here's me putting that down. You've got to open up the box where they give you an extra leg, and you flip it around, and you put these wheels in. So you don't have to worry about it. It's really easy. You just kind of push down till you hear it click, and they're rolled on. They're not going to come off, and you repeat that for the other 5. Then you're going to put this piece on here, which is the cylinder you need to move up and down. Pretty much no assembly required, just kind of slide it on. Then it gets a slightly more difficult. Move the top piece out of the way and grab the base. And just read the labels. It'll tell you which way to point it away from you, just like the diagram shows here. Then you'll grab the arms. We throw those arms on pretty quickly. It's just a couple of bolts. Just got to make sure you have enough room to put those arms on, because we sat it on top of an ottoman, and you can do things a little easier. I just like to make them hard on myself. Anyway, the next part here is putting on the tilting mechanism on the base. So we drop that on, and it's got a 4-bolt pattern.
Note, not enough forethought in design. They want the bolt pattern to go across, so here, then here, then here, then here. But when you go to twist this one here, you can see that your Allen key continues to smack into this point right here, which means you have to take it out and put it back on the opposite side and then begin to twist again. That's an installation design flaw.
Now the next part is gets a little more difficult. We've got to pull a mechanism that takes the backrest and puts it onto the seat. But before we get to all of that, you guys really want to make sure you're checking your product, because even outside of the box, there could be a problem. You don't want to wait to recognize that problem till it's too late. So this is us recognizing it.
Tear. Look at the tear here. It's a tear. It's like a rip in the fabric. Brand new, just out of the box. I think that's not supposed to be there. So we'll see what happens.
We took a couple extra pictures to make sure we verified it in case there were any questions.
Okay. We were fine going through the actual steps. We got to this one here, and detail 3 is just like, okay, here's some pieces. Well, there are some pieces. So we got those pieces together. Then detail 4 is like, hey, just go ahead and connect this top to this bottom. Well, there is no way to connect this top to this bottom. And if you're looking at the diagram, they're showing it upside down. We assume that's for our purposes, and these little arrows here with like a clicking up and down thing motion here, there's none of that on my chair. So I don't know what the hell this is about. But this top does not stay onto this bottom. So we had to take the bottom and put it on top of the wheels so that we could have a place to balance the top so that we could do steps 5 and 6, which are apparently taking detail number 3 pieces and bolting them in. Oh, not cool. Okay, that was a complete pain in the ass. I had to put this piece on here by putting this piece onto the back first, then leaning it up and doing 1 bolt at a time, adjusting as necessary, and still the back just leans forward, which means I'm going to have to repeat this process for this piece here. So stand by, but we've almost got the chair assembled. That's the end result of a lot of difficult work to put these pieces on. I'm not entirely sure what their method was, but it wasn't this. So let's move on. We're gonna put these covers on. And then apparently, boom. So we'll see in a second.
Another quick note, when you're putting on the screw hole covers, you may realize it doesn't go all the way into the chair, but stops instead at the metal piece. That's just okay.
So, minus the manufacturer's tear and the difficulty we had putting it up, she looks pretty damn cool. Gonna put the finishing touches on. Spider-Man.
Boom! So this is what she looks like in all of her glory, in her splendor, with her excellent Marvel headrest and lower lumbar support. So it's really cool because you can take the headrest, and once you realize you have this really cool Marvel pillow, you can just slide over the top or take it out if you don't want it anymore. And the extra added lower lumbar pillow, which comes with a little surprise you may not realize. In the back is a USB cord. And when you plug that USB cord into your computer or another power, well, a little surprise. Click this button and it becomes a vibrator. Now, while this is really cool, it's a little bit impractical. It's a lot noisy. It moves around a bit. You still feel the cord. And if you don't have the computer right next to you or a power source, it's just impractical to have the wire hanging out. Otherwise, very cool, but we're going to keep it tucked in. It still looks fantastic on the chair as it is. Okay, collective fam, so here's my final thoughts on the Neo Gaming chair, the Miles Morales style, Marvel license. Boom. I do love that there's a cushiony pillow headrest in the back. I do love that there is a cool lower lumbar support. You can't feel the wire unless you pull the wire out and it's touching some part of your back. So this is actually fantastic. You can move it up and down on your spine here, wherever you don't feel like you need some additional support. So I really do love that. It goes up and down without any problem. Like most chairs with wheels, they don't do great on carpet, and this is a carpeted space. So got to kind of shuffle a little bit as you move around. And that brings up just a slight point about these little guys right here. As you can see me moving them with my fingers, they're pretty loose at the top, the armrests are. Now they do have a function where you can move them left and right. It's kind of a herky-jerky scenario, and you feel a little bit like you might be breaking something when you're doing it. So I think that could be done just a little bit better. Obviously, the plug on the back for the lower lumbar support, I think there should probably be a hole outside the back of the chair to give you access so that it's not touching your leg or anything like that. And it should probably be a little bit longer in case your computer isn't sitting right next to you. Other than that, as far as the nick in the back is concerned, we immediately contacted customer service and they got right back to us, and they're going to send us out a new back. So no, they're not going to send you a whole new chair, but you didn't need a whole new chair anyway. It may cost me a little bit in time and energy, but I know when I get the piece here, it'll be in pristine condition and I'll be able to love it for as long as I have it. So this is my full review on Neo chairs. Miles Morales style Spider-Man gaming chair. Would recommend it 9 out of 10. Go ahead and pick yours up today. This is Tony the Torad, and I'm out.